You that is covering for these pastors, just remember, when judgment day comes, when we go and answer to our master in heaven, you will be answerable for covering for your pastor.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Lela Matams, Gelawapa Z. On my YouTube channel, expect to see weekly vlogs about real life stories, inspiring stories, and entertainment. Every Mondays and Fridays and Wednesdays, kids, watch, like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.
What's up, YouTube? It's Lela Matams, also known as Gelawapa Z, Omanakashiwapa Zambia. I'm still in Zambia, guys. For those of you who are new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel as I upload every week content to you guys that are interested in watching my videos. Now, today from the topic, I want to address this matter of pastors who have become the most difficult people. From today's topic, as you can see, I want to talk about pastors, African pastors who have become really dangerous and are so powerful in that it is so difficult for a layman or even a celebrity to pin them down, especially if they have a case. For those of you who've never heard of Busola Dakolo and Pastor Fatoyinbo, they had a big case where Busola Dakolo, who is married to Timmy Dakolo, a celebrity from Nigeria, did make an allegation, a heavy allegation, that Fatoyinbo had raped her when she was a young girl, and she decided to come out. Now, this is my take on this case. Obviously, I had talked about it before. That's why I want to finally close this chapter, since the case has been thrown out of court by the Nigerian court, which I am a bit skeptical about that. Why would the case be thrown out, and why would Busola be treated as just somebody who wants to accuse this pastor? And by the way, Busola has been asked to pay 1 million naira, which is a lot of money in dollars, for wasting the court's time. That's what the judge claims or declared, and has thrown out the case out of the window. So despite the heavy noise on social media, despite Busola Dakolo coming out and doing an over an hour interview on YouTube, and also talking about it on her Instagram posts, and also her husband campaigning against pastors that pretend to be what they are not, the case has been thrown out of the window. Now, pastors, I keep on saying this, I've said this before, are very powerful creatures at the moment in the world. They are very powerful human beings at the moment, in that some of them even control the media, they control governments, and they have access. Now, a person like Fatoyinbo, who has access to obviously members of high caliber, we all had a feeling that it was high likely that Busola Dakolo would win this case, and of course she has lost the case. When we say corruption is real in Africa, let's not beat about the bush. It is real. In the Western world, if this case was brought to light, he would be paying for it. We've seen how Bill Cosby has been treated, R. Kelly, and so many celebrities that have had cold cases brought to life after decades, and these guys are paying for crimes that they did against those victims who were young at that time. They were young at that time, and now they are older and they come out. There's even a story of a Nigerian woman who came out in her, I think the case happened more than 30 years ago. She came out in the UK saying that her parents used to abuse her, she's beaten up, she's been tortured, and they were convicted. Yes. But in Africa, court cases just go away. I mean, it's all about money. As long as you have the money to speak to whoever is in charge, then you can win the case. But having said that, it just feels like a dead end for other young people that have been made victims, that have gone through trauma, that have gone through sexual abuse from men of God, that pretend to be men of God and yet they are doing other things in their secret closets. It just makes it so difficult for any other young person to come out and say, this is what I've been going through. I mean, what's the point? Busola Dakolo's case was highly publicized. There were some protesters that took place at the church. The service was at one time shut down because people were making noise at most of the Kosa church branches. And then the case is thrown out of the window and Busola is deemed a liar, I think. I would say the judge is looking at Busola Dakolo a liar. I mean, why would the judge say she's wasting time? I don't care what you say. That judge has been paid money. I don't care what you say. That judge has been given money to throw this case out of the window. That is how corrupt African pastors with power like Fatoyinbo can do. This is what they can do. They have the power, they have the access, they have the money to stop any allegation going against them. Because this is somebody who's built a brand. I mean, Kosa is a brand. It's a brand name. It's a posh church. It's got its own elite status. And then Busola Dakolo, you should come and put this man's name down. I'm not going to allow you. That is why they will not allow this case to even go any further, but to make Busola Dakolo look like a fool. But this is my take. Spiritual things must be dealt with spiritually. As long as we are all complaining about, oh yes, these pastors are sleeping around, oh pastors are doing this and this, how about taking this battle to the Lord? Yes, it's good to get justice. Yes, it's important that the man was embarrassed. Everybody knew. At one time people were calling him Mr. Crest Pastor because after he raped Busola, he went to his car and gave her a Crest drink and he was labeled the Crest Pastor. But at the end of the day, this man has won the battle simply because of his class, caliber and standards. Obviously, that's why he has won this battle, and he has the money that can pay his way through the justice system. This is the African reality. The rich people never ever get told off or get into trouble as long as they can pay their way through the system. For how long will pastors in Africa be very powerful? For how long will pastors in Africa get away with all the nonsense that has been going on? A lot of women have been abused by pastors. Some women don't even want to go to church because a pastor abused them. They can't speak out because they come from poor families. Busola took the courage to speak about her ordeal, but still the case has been thrown out of the window. Do you think we are encouraging other women to come out and say what has been going on in their lives before? No, we are rather telling our women, shut up, you don't need to talk about it. Who's going to hear your story? Who's going to listen to your story? I mean, we've seen cases of even Stephanie Otobo that came out and suddenly she went to confess that she was paid to lie against the man of God. No, these guys are very, very powerful. They can take your family out. I've said this before. They can do so many things just to shut you down. God, come quick. We need to really, really pray. Put our lives in God and ask God to take control of this battle. And our only prayer should be that may God expose false preachers. May God expose them so that his name will be glorified. But when we do things physically, We try to shame this person. We try to name these people. It's a good thing, like I've said, but they are still winning the battles because we are doing it the physical way, not the spiritual way. Let's not give up on this fight. For those of you who truly believe that Busola Dakolo was raped, stand in the gap for her family, because this story has gone viral. Obviously, it's always gone viral. And even as her children grow up, they'll get to read about their mother's past, which is quite painful. The videos are there on our YouTube channels. We've shared the story. We've talked about these people and what actually happened to her, and even the other lady who also confessed that Fatoyinbo had been in a relationship with her. These women cannot always be pointing at pastors. How come it's only women saying, the pastor did this to me, and another pastor did this to me? I was speaking to a pastor here in Zambia. We were just having a chat, and he was just telling me how a pastor in Zambia has been telling married women that the reason why they're having marital problems is because they haven't used anointing water to wash their bodies. And this pastor has been taking these women to a room naked, and he washes their private parts in Zambia. According to sources, he was arrested because that's like disrespecting someone's wife or defiling someone's wife. Now, you see, this is Zambia, which is a small country, which is not as big as Nigeria. Now, what about other parts of Africa? What's going on there? We've seen pastors feed people snakes. We've seen pastors feed people grass. We've seen pastors tell people, if you buy this soap is anointed. If you buy this water, it's anointed. And the gullible people are buying these things. Are we that desperate for a miracle that pastors are taking over this world however they want to? Are we in control of our lives? Are we leaving everything to these pastors to just do whatever they want? Of course we have. Of course we have allowed pastors even to be involved politically. Some pastors even feel they can control their churches by telling them, God told me this government is going to win. In Busola's case, it's unfortunate that she has lost the battle, but one thing I can emulate is her husband, Timmy Dakolo, who has been there for her from day one. He has never relented. He has stood by her. Even when the family was receiving threats from police or whatever, even as their address, residential address was publicized to the media, these guys have been together, and he has really stood by him. But he has really stood by her. That is what I call a good man. It's so sad that we have to watch pastors live like thugs, do whatever they want to do, and they know that everything will be thrown under the carpet, everything will be hidden under the carpet, and life goes on. You that is covering for these pastors, just remember, when judgment day comes, when we go and answer to our master in heaven, you will be answerable for covering for your pastor. It's better you tell the truth now, so that even your life as well will receive eternity in heaven. Why am I saying this? Because most of these guys, henchmen, whoever that follow these pastors, chola boys, these guys are paid money just because of money. You do things in order to deprive Busola Dakolo her justice. It's fine. You can do that. But remember, there is nothing hidden under the sun. There is nothing that is hidden under this earth. In Zambian language, there's a proverb that says, Uakalema talubikwa, meaning somebody with a disability. You can never miss somebody who has one leg when they are passing. You know that person has one leg. It's the same thing. Today, Fatoyinbo is a star. He has won the battle. It's Busola was just making up stories, but one day he will make the same mistake. That is what happens. It's a trait. He will make the same mistake. It's better you help somebody who has a problem than cover all their mistakes just because you want to keep the name of the church perfect. We've not had scandals. You mean Fatoyinbo is just being accused by all these women because they have nothing to do? And all these pastors that have been accused before, people just make up lies. They don't have anything to do. Women don't have anything to do. We just sit down and start saying, today I'll accuse this pastor. No, hell no. We can't just accuse anybody because we don't have anything to talk about. We accuse people that actually do something against us. That is how it works with women. Women only share the negative aspect of their lives, trauma, if it has actually happened. No woman will just make up a story. It is a heavy burden to even try to pretend that a man raped you when he didn't. So let's fight for justice for Busola Dakolo. Let's continue to stand with her. And those of you who are in human rights positions in Nigeria, try and do something. If the Nigerian court system has thrown the case out, let's take this case to the International Criminal Court. They will do something about it. There's that one, you cannot even do corruption. There's no bribing. That one, they deal with the case based on the evidence and the story. And a lot of people have been helped out there when there were wars, war crimes. A lot of people have been helped. So let's take this case to the ICC and see what's. And then we can also involve the UN, obviously, to support this movement. I stand for her. Let Busola do her part, and she will receive her justice. In as much as Fatoyinbo is not guilty, they will find evidence against him based on witness testimony and loads of people obviously who have said a lot of things about him. At least something will be done about it. Let's take this case to a further judiciary system, not Nigerian system. No, that one is too corrupt. We all know that African systems are corrupt. It's a girl, Lela Matams, also known as Gelo Pazet.